Good afternoon, Zachariah Jackson, BASA News. I'm here in Elizabeth. You know, I often talk about Elizabeth. I feel akin to this city because 101 years ago, 1923, my family moved from the state of Georgia. And this is the first city they came, Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Beautiful city. Beautiful city. Great people.
Yes, but so I'm in Newark. We stayed in Elizabeth like 3 years. 27, my grandmother moved everybody to Prince Street in Newark, New Jersey. So I feel akin whenever I come over. Salam called me, I come right over to Elizabeth. And in fact, I even rode down Pearl Street where they lived. And I don't know why I thought I was going to see a house, an old house, but everything has changed, like, progress. But I guess, today we're talking about police officers in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And of course, as the tide is turning and we're maturing in this new 21st century, we're 24 years into the new century, we wonder, will there be any black folk in the Elizabeth Police Department with high ranking? Who am I talking to today?
Hey, my name is Rodney Dorilus. I was in Port for City Elizabeth Police Department for about 20 years.
Okay.
Currently going through the appeal process. They basically are trying to take my career from me based on frivolous allegations from the ex-wife who was scorned.
Okay. And they use that right there to actually try to take your career?
Yeah, they tried to paint me as a horrible individual. On August 23rd, 2003, as I was walking down my driveway, I was approached by 4 unmarked police cars, stopped me in my driveway, told me they had bad news to me. They approached me and they served me, said I had a TRO filed against me, and I was charged with harassment, PDP harassment. Needless to say, I was shocked what was going on.
Now, did you say 2023 or 2003?
2023, I'm sorry.
Okay.
2023, about 10 months ago.
Oh, okay, so 10 months ago.
About 10 months ago, yes, sir.
And so they served you some papers.
Yeah, served me some papers. Apparently, my estranged ex-wife called the Granford Police Department and said that I harassed her. And they got a temporary restraining order against me.
Okay.
And they told me she also further stated allegedly that I wanted to harm my boss. She apparently said I said that 8 months ago, she claims. And I was suspended immediately without pay.
And when she said that you wanted to harm your boss?
Yeah, she said because I didn't get a promotion to police lieutenant, that I apparently told her 8 months ago I was going to go to his house or something like that and beat him up, and he wasn't going to make it. That was her allegation. 8 months transpired since then.
Okay.
She was, it was a rocky relationship. And I was like,
so that happened. The relationship
yeah.
up and down.
Up and down.
Sometimes the chemicals just
absolutely.
mix, whatever.
And then she took it to another level when she started calling me like racial epithets. She started calling me, the N-word. Okay. She started wishing me death, wishing me ill will, telling me you're gonna suffer a so painful deaths. And I have these in text messages.
Okay. Now today, when you say that she called you names, it's not rare that a black woman will call you the N-word, because I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
She's not black.
She's not black. She's not been Mexican.
Okay.
So it wasn't a term of endearment. She was saying it to me to hurt me.
Okay.
And it was okay. And I was like, she crossed the line. We have disputes, life relationships, we have up and down. Yeah, of course. But you get to a point that you're calling the person racial epithets and hurtful, mean things like that. I have to draw the line.
Sure.
And I was like, it's time to move on with my life.
How long were you two together?
We were only married for 3 months.
Oh, okay.
But we were friends for 12 years.
Oh, okay.
So what had happened was I had gotten a marriage license to kind of pacify her. And I was having cold feet. I didn't want to get married anymore.
Sure, I understand.
And then one day she calls me up. She says, congratulations, we got married. I said, what are you talking about? We got married. And then she basically created this whirlwind storm that you see I'm currently in.
So you never had a ceremony?
No. No ceremony. Apparently her boss performed the ceremony without me being there. But I did go there and get the license with her. But I was having cold feet.
Okay, I understand getting the license, but you also have to sign. like when they have a ceremony.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely, absolutely.
And people, you're there, and mama crying, and everybody kiss
Absolutely.
the bride. Then the reverend
Yes.
turn you and her
That never
to
happened.
the paperwork, and you have to sign. Now, if you don't sign,
Yeah, that never happened.
that never happened.
Never happened.
Of course.
What did you say? You just said
No, I'm saying you have to sign the marriage certificate. Okay, after we perform the wedding.
Yes, you're
Right.
supposed to, yes.
Right, then everybody dancing, jumping, you kiss the bride, everybody,
Yes.
and then what we do is say, John, Jill, come on over here,
Yes.
and you have to sign that book, have to sign that license.
There was, I was never there for no ceremony. It was there.
So you never really were married.
No, I told her that. I told her that, and that was a whole other issue that created with us. So I was like, whatever, but I never thought she would sink to this level to call my job and make these false allegations. She basically tried to ruin me, and she actually texted me. So I had the texts to prove what she was saying, and I thought it would help me, but apparently it didn't really matter.
And you've been working with the Elizabeth Police Department, Union County. I guess this is Union County.
Yes, sir.
Right. You've been working with the Elizabeth Police Department for 23 years?
No, I'm in 20 years. I tell my
20 years.
20 years. I started my 21st year was January this year. January 20th would be into my 21st year.
Okay. And after those 20 years, I'm sure you've built relationships.
I have.
You've worked with the boss.
Yes.
Uh,
I've had the
doing that-
privilege of working for 5 police chiefs.
Okay.
This is the 5th one I'm currently working for.
And along that line, how long have you worked with him, this fifth one?
Throughout my career, he's always been a higher ranking individual over
Yes.
myself. But he's, throughout my career, shown great dislike towards me, great disdain towards me.
Okay, but y'all never had no altercations.
Not that I know, but
Just stand up. It was never.
I wouldn't even say standoff. He just, I was told by other people that he doesn't like me. I'm not his cup of tea.
Okay.
Words have said, he's not a friend of mine. I'm not his cup of tea.
But you've never been written up behind anything between you and him?
I've been written up for him. He wrote me up. I'm not sure the exact year it was. 1 year he said I had a pattern of sick days. He wrote me up for having 6 sick days in a calendar year.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in terms of any kind of aggression toward each other. You never,
No aggression.
fisticuffs or nothing like that.
Yeah.
So it's just a sick,
Yeah, he just thinks so.
And we know how companies today, they give you the 6 days,
Yeah.
but they don't want you to take them. And
Sick.
sometimes the union back them. I don't know.
Yeah,
What's
it's
that
a little
all
crazy.
about?
It's a
That
little
kind of goofy, you know what I mean? You
Yeah,
give
it's
me
a
the
little
6, unless I'm laying out almost dead,
Yeah.
I don't even get to take them. So, and he just took the woman's advice because she's not your wife.
No, she wasn't. I filed the divorce. It was on August 11th. But what happened was it got annulled. So it was filed August 11th. I wasn't aware of it. And then they got annulled maybe at the end of September. They changed it. Apparently, the Union County Superior Court called and said the dates were wrong or something to that effect. But I'm sorry, what I chucked off was wrong. And they amended it from a divorce to an annulment. That happened maybe, don't quote me at the time, like end of September. I believe it
Well,
was right.
now for the audience, because we want to know, they're going to want to know. In fact, I want to know. Now, you have never had a ceremony,
No, we didn't have a ceremony.
but you filed for a license.
I went with her to get the license, yes. That's
You
correct.
went and got the license.
Yes. So you have 90 days from the time you get the license to have a ceremony. have
So
90
you
days.
never actually got married, you just had the license.
I had a license, but she had her boss perform the ceremony without me being there, with the license he had. So basically, they forged the information. And
Is her boss a rabbit?
I don't know, he has some kind of powers to do wedding. I explained that to the police department as well.
Oh my God. Okay, so then you had to file for a divorce and things of that nature, and
Yes.
as of that you actually performed the ceremony.
Yes.
Because you know that in the law enforcement, the swearing in is very, very, very important.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you never was sworn in.
No.
Okay, all right.
But I mean, I explained this to the Elizabeth Police Department. I gave them maybe 200 pages of text messages roughly, and it didn't really matter. And then I was sent to a doctor. And a couple days after this happened, their doctor was trying to say I was unfit for duty.
Now, this would be a mental doctor, like a psychiatrist?
Yes, they tried to tell me the psychiatrist. And apparently their doctor was trying to say, all of a sudden after 20 years, I'm not fit for duty anymore. Then I went to 2 other doctors, and they found me fit for duty. And matter of fact, it's on the record. One of the City of Elizabeth's doctors, they sent me in prior to, disagreed with this gentleman previously, because so this is like the second time this gentleman's tried. Didn't rule in my favor for fitness for duty evaluation.
So at this point in challenge, you were fired.
Yeah, what happened was they offered me a deal twice. They wanted me to resign my career. They told me they would give me all my back pay, and I would resign with a 20-year pension.
Okay.
I didn't feel I should resign my career after investing half my life into a profession I love. It's a great police department. I work with great men and women. It's a rewarding career, but I didn't feel like after investing 20 years of my life to quit when I didn't do anything wrong. God, Lord knows I made mistakes throughout my life, like we all do,
Sure.
and I've made mistakes in my career, but nothing has arisen to the fact of losing my career. And I felt uncomfortable to resign in disgrace. I consider disgrace when I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay. In the case, do you think it's a racial issue? Or how many black police officers work with you?
And before I answer that question, I hate to use race. I've always been taught you apply yourself, despite when we have obstacles in life. But I'm not one of those people big on saying race is a factor. Unfortunately, in this case, I have to say it's race because I've been there for 20 years and I've seen how the discipline is handed out to non-minority officers, and I've seen how discipline is meted out to minority officers. It's not an equal playing field. We recently had a Haitian female officer who's been also fighting for her job back. Based on allegations, she was dating a man who, not of the utmost best character.
Okay.
But there's also been other officers in the police department who also dated men who are not of the best character.
Sure.
And they're still employed.
All women are not best character.
Okay. And other people as well, and they are still currently working.
Okay.
As well. It's unfortunate. Like I said, the agency is a great agency,
Sure.
Great men and women, great colleagues. I can only say great things about the men and women I had the privilege to work with and the privilege to supervise. It was an honor and
Okay, in
privilege.
this case, how many sergeants, are you a sergeant? You were a
Sergeant,
sergeant?
yes.
And how many black sergeants are there?
Right now, excuse me, I believe there's 2 left now. No, I'm sorry, 1. I think there's 1 black sergeant in Louisville Police Department. Yeah, and he's going to retire soon, in a year or so. And then, so what started all this, so to tell you the crux of my ex-wife is claiming, because I got passed over a position for lieutenant, apparently they didn't fill it, and she claims I was so upset that I wanted to harm people, which wasn't the case, it's not true. Of course you're going to be disappointed, absolutely.
Of course.
But what she said doesn't make sense. And she used information I told her that a current person who's in charge, one of the people in charge who doesn't like me and I've been told hates me, she used that information and then used it and made up the story. Now, like you would say, okay, is there any type of proof? Is there a voicemail, a text message? Is there something to back up the story?
Sure.
Nothing.
And they just went with it just like
They went with that, and then they also tried to use another police sergeant's text message when we talked about karma, which this gentleman in the Departmental Hearing had to admit that karma is a thing we've talked about for years because this sergeant was demoted, he was suspended by the previous police director, so we'd always, back and forth banter and say karma gets you when you do wrong. One
Sure.
day, you could be on top of the hill signing orders, the next day you're walking out to boys to men. It was always this thing. But they tried to use that text message between me and this gentleman and made it seem nefarious, like I wanted to harm an individual, which wasn't the case.
Okay, I'm going to stick on this. I know that you said that you don't like to play the race card, and of course none of us do. But it's just the thing that things is handed to us. How many police officers is on the force there in Elizabeth?
Roughly now, the manpower is maybe roughly 350.
350?
350, roughly.
And how many are black?
I take a rough estimate, maybe 20, 25.
Okay, out of all that.
Rough estimate.
And then you have the other minorities.
Yes, sir.
And how do you get along with the black officers?
Fine. Listen, we all, work environment, sometimes stressful environment, you get disputes with normal co-worker stuff.
Okay.
I always try to treat my men and women who I have the privilege to supervise. I always try to always look out for their best interest and always try to be their mentor, their leader.
Because you go off as a veteran officer. officer, is that
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Because 20 years is a
Yes,
long
sir.
time. And you can retire in 20 years, is that correct?
You can retire. You just don't get your medical benefits. You only get you get your pension and not deferred comp, but you don't get medical. So most people try to get the 25, but Governor Murphy passed a bill, 20-hour bill. It's called the burnout bill. So it makes it easier for cops to just retire and want to get out of there 20 years, and you're able to leave.
But you want to stay. You want to be a part of the community. You live here in Elizabeth.
I still live in Elizabeth, in the Western community. Born and raised here. Went to school here.
You graduated from Elizabeth High?
I did not. I left for 2 years. Moved to Linden with my dad for 2 years, and I came back. But probably I went to school, St. Albert's on 3rd and Fulton.
Okay.
And I went to St. Mary's for 2 years. I was born at the old St. Elizabeth's Hospital here.
So you're Elizabeth?
Yeah, I'm Elizabeth. Grew up here, born and raised. Matter of fact, when I was growing up, and our current mayor was actually a councilman. He used to come to, was a councilman at large at the time. He used to come to my mom's business all the time because he was running for mayor back then. He was like maybe councilman at large.
But what kind of business did your
My
mom
mom had owned she's a beautician.
Okay.
So she owned a salon, beauty salon.
a community organizer, a
Yes.
petition is, I don't know why they don't actually give them a degree in psychology because they do a lot of healing,
Yeah.
when they do somebody here. So you're basically, you're homegrown.
Yeah. Homegrown, so Elizabeth invested, yes sir.
Oh, I want to talk about the disparity between how do they treat the black officers over the white officers. Is there any, in that gear shift, is there?
The gear shift is just the way the discipline is handled. So for example, the discipline book is wide ranging, but it's selective the way it's used. It just seems, I'll give you an example, we have another female officer who's been fighting an allegation of insurance fraud. She's been fighting this for about 6 years now. She's been suspended, she's been charged criminally, and she's still going through this. So 6 years she's been going through this. We have another female officer in Spain also. She was fired. Basically, she said that there was a feeling that she might have given information to an informant, or also that she might have given information about apparently some kind of SWAT raid that was coming on, and then apparently they were saying that she had a suspect boyfriend. I mean, there's allegations. I would say like the rumor mill talk, but nothing I've seen. I don't know all the ins and outs, but nothing I've seen as far as like to justify a firing. All the officers have been accused of having sex with informants. Other officers who beat their wives and came back to work the next day. Other officers who had had opportunities to take drug tests, but then all of a sudden they said they couldn't give a urine sample because allegedly they had a problem.
Medical, whatever.
Yeah, whatever issue they may be. But the rule book is not applied equally.
So with these other black officers that has went through this turbulence, have they reached out to any organization like that?
So a couple officers reached out to me back in.
I'm talking about like the NACP or the.
So we reached out. We reached out to the Elizabeth Police. The Elizabeth chapter, the NAACP. I forget the gentleman's name. Spoke to him. Also back, and I think people say I'm basically paying for this now. I reached out to the EOC back in February of last year, and I made an allegation, complaint against the police department about how the differential treatment to black officers. I mentioned how back in 2008, late 7, when I heard we're all excited for Barack Obama. I was excited to become the first president of the United States. Yeah. I heard some other officers refer to him with the N-word and said, "Oh, we're losing the country." And when they saw me there, they were like it's kind of awkward. I'm excited that we're having the first black officer. First black president. So I'm excited. It's like a great thing. Yes. Our president, it's history. Brought a tear to my eye. And then some of my coworkers weren't happy. They were like upset, angry, we're losing the country, and this and that. But it's part of the course. I guess everywhere has certain people have their negative feelings. This is society. But unfortunately, I guess we're not. When it comes to discipline, we're not treated the same. And this is a case in point. Fighting for my career.
You and a few others.
3 of others fighting for our careers.
Yes.
And the allegation was brought upon based on a sworn woman. And these are the facts. The sworn woman referred to me racial epithets to call me out. She says, told me you're a fucking nigger. If I want to call you a nigger, I'm going to call you a nigger. If I want to text you a nigger, I'm going to text you a nigger.
And
So-
and you have text where she
and I have the
texted
Texas, and I provided this to the City of Elizabeth Police Department, but they weren't interested in that. So it's showing her, she's upset at me. It's showing her anger, but they weren't interested in that. What they're interested.
What did your union say? You have a union.
The union provided me with legal counsel,
All right.
and they're to call the LPP plan, it's a law enforcement legal protection plan.
Okay.
It's the first time I had to use it in my career, and they're through the PBA. They pay for my lawyer as you go through this process.
Okay. And what about the hiring of black women officers?
I'm not sure about all the exact in and outs. What I was told, I believe, when I had a group chat with other officers, they said they haven't hired a black female officer, I believe, until maybe since 2016, 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
I'm not 100% on the dates.
You know, from the outside looking in, we, in the community, we wouldn't even know that the police officers, that y'all have such different gears that you work in, and I know that a lot of times the victim don't want to play that the world is making them a victim, but I highly recommend that people have to speak up, because if you don't speak up, you're gonna be out. You understand what I mean? And I know, like, we will say, hey, I don't want to play the card, but if that's the card that's being dealt,
yeah, and I'm always reluctant to, because I like, my parents raised me that I'm not the race car. A lot of my friends tease me,
yes.
and they say you're Oreo. I'm like, what's Oreo? Like you're like the whitest black guy we know. They joke on me. You have no tattoos. You don't drink. You don't use drugs. They always joke with me. Say, wow, you're like a clean cut dude. And they joke tongue in cheek humor, but it's like, yeah, you're like the cleanest cut dude. They say that to me all the time.
That's a few
a lot of us, but I'm not perfect. I've made my mistakes throughout my career, unfortunately, but I've nothing to warrant what I've been going through.
But a lot of people ask me, as a journalist, and they ask me, says, Zachariah, why you fight for civil rights? They ask me that all the time. They say, why you don't have any fear about that? And you know why, officer, I don't have any fear? Because these people out here will actually take your livelihood from you. They will take it, and not even bat an eye, man. Most of the civil rights, if you look back on the civil rights from Dr. King and even before Doc, what were we fighting for? We wasn't fighting to build a nuclear missile. We were fighting so we could buy a car, a Ford, Chrysler, General Motors. AMC.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
We've come a long way, but we have a long way to go. Just recently too, maybe this past Saturday, I was contacted by an attorney friend of mine, and they're still trying to mess with my life. So now apparently, this gentleman in power is apparently now trying to get a protection order against me. He's trying to claim that I'm an extreme risk to society. After, I'm a proud girl dad, I'm a God-fearing man, Catholic, never been arrested prior to this incident with this woman.
Sure.
And now he's trying to get, he's trying to...
And that's the chief of the police.
Yes. Now he's trying to get a restraining order.
He's trying to hang you.
Yes, he's saying that I'm an extreme risk. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, nothing. I'm an extreme risk to harm him. Because what happened is I had a couple opportunities. I was going to get corporate security jobs, like armed security.
Sure.
So they'll stay on my feet. And I guess they're doing the background checks, and he's just trying to paint me as someone I'm not. So I'm going to the civil service process. So he's trying to build this paper trail to say, look, oh, he's a bad guy. Even like the Superior Court judge agrees with him, not based on facts. I would like this to be open to the public. Let's show the facts. I've given them my cell phone. I've been candid. Let's show the facts. Please show the community and the world where that Mr. Dorilus has ever made any threats against you. Show it. And they can't, because it didn't happen. The best thing they tried to come up with was me and a colleague talking about karma. And they turned a verbiage that we said for years about karma to something personal and nefarious.
Sure.
You do tongue in cheek, whatever, but nothing that say, hey, I'm going to somewhere to harm someone. And he's trying to paint this picture and saying that I'm this awful person. So then what I would say is, okay, on August 22nd, before this woman came forward, Rodney Dorilus was an active member of the Elizabeth Police Department
Sure.
in the supervisor capacity in charge of, about 2,400 officers on my command.
Sure.
And I've been supervisor for the past 9 years, right?
Did you work during the Juneteenth last year?
I don't know, I think Juneteenth.
Yes.
I don't remember if I was working there or not.
Okay.
But I remember, I could have been, I think there was a celebration by police
Yeah,
headquarters.
big time
In
celebration.
front of the Republic. I think the street was closed off
Yes,
that day.
yes.
So I think I was working at it. I remember the
Yes.
street being closed off periodically, there's chairs outside.
Yes, yes.
So I could either be working my regular duty assignment or off-duty gig, which is,
Okay.
off-duty gig is basically side work, we make our overtime
Okay.
and stuff. So I could have been done, I'm not 100% sure. And it was good, you know. It was a good event they had in there for the Republic.
And, okay, so it was the 23rd of August is the last time you was actually in uniform.
Actually, August 21st, I was having dinner with a colleague of mine, so the night before, so August 21st or 22nd, 1 or 2 days. It's either the
And is that the
22nd.
last time you had contact with this chief?
I never have contact with him.
So you haven't seen the chief at all?
I've seen him during a departmental hearing,
Okay.
and I also saw him back in March. He brought me to his office March or April of 2023. So there was a walkout ceremony for a gentleman detective who was retiring.
Sure.
And he saw me in the parking lot. He said, "Hey, Rodney, you have a few minutes." And he wanted to talk to me. So I went up to his office. He spoke to me. He said, "You know, I know you're a little upset about you not getting promoted." I said, "Yeah." He asked me about my dad. He also asked me about running an espresso. I have a seat, chit chat a little bit. And he said, you have a bright future in the police department, something to that effect.
Was your father a police officer?
No, my dad's been sick for a while. So I think it's
Okay.
commonly known in my department. People know my dad's been sick for a while. I've been, watching him digress slowly. And he mentioned about my dad, and he tried to do pleasantries with me. And I asked him why he didn't get promoted. He didn't really give me an answer, and then I kind of left it at that. It should be noted too. Apparently, my ex-wife also made it seem that she said I called her that day apparently, and I told her I was upset at the chief or something like that, some nonsense. But she's trying to paint me in the most negative light possible. So just sort of normal people or anybody in the audience, just make this make sense, right? This gentleman's working normally for the past 20 years of his
20
career.
years.
Yeah, I've gotten complaints on my career. I've made mistakes. Fine. No major discipline in his career. Most discipline I had prior to this was written reprimands. No major discipline, which service would consider 5 years or more. Nothing in my career. I did get, some complaints over the years running around. I made some mistakes. I was an aggressive, hard-charging officer. Made mistakes. Nothing to warrant this. And then a woman who's upset at me calls my job. Same day I'm talking to her, makes allegations with no proof, and I'm suspended immediately without pay. Immediately. The same day she made it. Now, you can come to the public, show some kind of text message, a voicemail, telegram, email.
No sit down, no hearing, and just.
No, we had a departmental hearing. The way, unfortunately, departmental hearings works in New Jersey, the police department picks your hearing officer. So basically, you're the police, you pick your hearing officer. So
Sure.
it's not like you have like a random person, they pick the person. So then, okay, how fair can this possibly be? They'll go to the semantics for it. There's actually a case law in New Jersey that most departmental hearings, the officers don't win because they pick the person.
Okay.
So it's like you're my friend. Okay, listen, man, I want you to come here. You're gonna be the hearing officer. You're my buddy.
Sure.
Are you gonna rule against me?
No.
No. And you're under contract. That's the way it works. So usually you get a fair shot when you
Like
go.
a company doctor.
Yes. Yes, like the company. And then, absolutely.
How long have you been sergeant?
I got promoted sergeant on April 30th of 2015.
So about 5 years, so 8 years.
Yeah, this was going to enter the 9th year. Yeah, 9th year.
And you were headed to be.
There was a position available,
For
lieutenant, but they didn't fill it. They chose not to fill it, they said.
So they just took a sergeant out of service just like that.
Instantaneous.
Instantaneous. Without a great investigation or anything.
Yes, just instantaneously. Then, during this process, I learned that while I was going through my departmental hearing, when the results came out, they sent a telegram. Like this gentleman put like a departmental message to let everybody know that I lost my departmental hearing. So it says, which is unprecedented. I've never seen that before. So they posted it so everybody to see it. They said something to the effect of the police department won their case against Sergeant Dorilus, and we're moving forward with termination proceedings. They posted that for the whole department to see.
Now,
So
how long did all this take?
The departmental hearing?
Yeah.
It started, I believe, roughly December 11th, and it ended February 20th, I believe.
Okay.
Well, only 2 months.
After they put you out of service in August,
Yes.
you didn't have the hearing until December.
Yes, until December. So I had my court case in September 7th in Union County Superior Court, which was dismissed. And then we went to Cranford Municipal Court. She didn't show up for 2 appearances. On the second appearance, it was dismissed.
And they just by her words, they just,
Yes.
oh my God.
By her word, they suspended me. By her word. And then 3 days later, they sent me to this city doctor who started to say I was unfit for duty. And then I went to another doctor, to other doctors, and they both cleared me. And it was like stressful because for another doctor to clear you after one fails you, they're gonna be very thorough because they don't want to put the liability. Like if there's allegations of violence and another doctor, they're gonna do their homework because that's their livelihood.
So you went to see the city doctor, and he put you out of service.
He said he found me unfit for duty.
And okay, and what was his diagnosis? What was his procedure? Did he?
He said he gave me a test, written test, and then after that we had an interview. Okay. And one of the comments they made to me during the interview said it was summertime. Afterwards, so many messages was relayed to me. Why'd you wear sandals to the interview? I said sandals. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? It was a summer day. I'm stressed out. I didn't get dressed up suit and tie.
Right.
I went there casual. I didn't think I needed to be dressed up for it. But they pointed out that I wore sandals. I said, I'm from the islands. I wear sandals. It's comfortable, I didn't think that was a factor. And then they said, I got a call from one of the union vice presidents who said that I was found unfit for duty. I said, okay. It's no problem. Took it in stride and spoke to some other officers. And then I went to another doctor that my attorney had recommended.
Okay.
And another doctor took 2 independent doctors who found me fit for duty. It should also be noted, like prior to this in 2018, I went to another city doctor, 2018, 2019, who disagreed with the same doctor they resent me to. So she was a city doctor as well, and she gave a report contradicting the doctor that they sent me to now again. So it's been twice that the different doctors have disagreed with this gentleman.
So at this point in challenge, you're fighting for your career. You're fighting for your.
I'm fighting for my career. I'm fighting for my name, because this gentleman is currently going to great lengths to try to have me painted as someone I'm not. To go to court and try to say I'm an extreme risk person. He even said, like in my departmental hearing, that maybe I'm one day a potential active school shooter. I'm a proud girl dad. Yes, he said that. He said one day he has all the symptoms or something. He said to the effect that maybe one day I might be an active shooter in schools.
To a police officer
Yes.
that's been on the force for 20 years.
Yes.
And a sergeant.
Yes.
For 8 years. And he
No,
had 9 years.
Yes.
And have the audacity to say that
Yes. It gets even better. He even was talking about voodoo. I'm of Haitian descent.
Okay.
So they came in and they said one of his colleagues' mother apparently went to see him and brought him something from St. Michael's Church.
Sure.
And gave him some thing he brought out. I don't know what it is. I'm not into black magic, but he presented it because to protect them from the spirits and the ghosts. So I'm sitting here listening to this. I'm like, wait a minute. This is the leader here,
Sure.
and we're in a professional setting, and you're talking about witchcraft and voodoo, and then you're showing the hearing officer this thing you carry in your wallet to protect you from the spirits and the ghosts. I'm like, okay, are we gonna have a UFO come in next? What are we talking about here? This is silly. This is silly stuff here.
But
I'm a man of God. You're talking about
yeah,
voodoo.
yeah.
Like I don't know nothing about voodoo. I'm a Catholic. I'm a God-fearing man. I don't know what you're talking about, voodoo and witchcraft and Santa Maria tweet. I think it was absurd. It was absurd. And I also have the audios. You can hear it for yourself. Transcript, you can hear him talking about it and presenting it as like this. I'm not sure what it is, but something he carries.
And this is the chief.
Yes, he's carrying this to protect him. Yes.
Okay, all right. Then is the chief white?
Yes.
The white American?
I'm not sure. Maybe Italian, if I'm not mistaken.
And how long has he been working?
I'm not sure how long he's been there. He was there before me, so he's might have me over. I'm not sure.
Well, he seemed to have a vendetta against you. I think that's what they call
It what's funny about the whole story? It's not funny, it's sad. He talks to people about me. He doesn't know I know. I've gotten calls from people, I can't say who they are because
Sure.
they're afraid of retaliation. Like,
Of course.
you're in the police department and people told me stuff in confidence. You're like, wow, don't mention me, I have a wife, I have kids, I have a mortgage, but listen, what they're doing to you, I think is wrong.
Yes.
What they think they're doing to you is wrong. And people are afraid. People are afraid of retaliation.
Yes.
And I get it. They're like, you know what people say to me? We don't want to be in your shoes. We feel for you.
Of course.
We don't want to
Of
be.
course. Everyone wants
We don't want to be where you're at. You know, we feel for you. You know, and we don't want to be where you're at. So officers are afraid, man. They're scared.
When you say officers, are officers afraid or black officers afraid?
Well, black officers know better because
Yeah, well, what I'm trying to get, you know, I have to come correct as close as to straight line as I can, because sometimes we try to negate things as, you know, 'cause we don't want to be a part of that
I get it.
band that would
Yeah, I get it.
holler.
Man.
But you know, sometimes when people holler, right, it's a real fire.
No, listen. This
You
is
understand what I mean? Sometimes my officer,
Yes.
sergeant, I'm proud to sit next to a sergeant. But you know, sergeant, sometimes when people holler, it's real.
It's real. You know what's people I've spoken to, and a lot of people reached out to me. They always reach out to me in confidence.
Yes.
They're like, "This is like crazy." They're like, "There's no text message. There's no nothing." I said, you know, I showed one friend of this, good friend of mine. I showed him this. We met out and I showed him. He looked at me. He's like, "You're worried about this nonsense?" He's like, "You're losing sleep over this." I said, "Bro, this nonsense has me suspended without pay. This nonsense has me fighting for my career.
Fighting for your career.
You know, this nonsense is like, you know, they cut my salary. They they've tried to humiliate me,
Sure.
and they've tried to just paint me as a person I'm not. You know, and I'm just looking for justice, and that's why I'm praying for the Lord every day to get justice and just to
Sergeant, I say this here, and I'm holding your picture for everyone to see, which we're proud to have a sergeant. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you're just proud to have a black sergeant." Well, in a way we are. Yes, we are, because, you know, it's so few of us, you know, that get the recognition and get to where we really care for our community and stuff. And I'm here talking with the sergeant, and he don't only care for his community, he was bred it here. You understand? In Elizabeth, his mother was a hairdresser, and God knows the healing that goes on in the hairdresser. He might not know about
the priceless conversations.
Oh
yeah.
my God, the priceless conversations and stuff. And if you're a good hairdresser, Michelle Obama, even if she was first lady, would find a way to land her Air Force One in Newark to get her hair done. Trust
Absolutely.
me. So he come from a great background, great family origin, and things of that nature. And for people to go after him like that, it's just not. We just feel it's not fair.
No, it's not.
Because he's here fighting for his life, and 20 years in it was 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years in the police department.
20 years in the police
This
department
will be year 21.
is equivalent to 21 years in the police department is equivalent to 20 years in the military. You're out here fighting crime and things of that nature. You're out here pulling people out of cars. You're out here saving and things of that nature. And it's just a shame that this thing here has turned into this. What would your closing statement at this point that you would like the people to see as a whole picture?
Oh, I would say is just hope that there's a God, and I keep praying that this travesty of justice will be fixed. I mean, if I made a mistake, I made mistakes in my life. I admit it, but this is not the case. This is not the circumstance to forfeit my career. I gave him humiliating messages. I gave personal messages about me and my personal life. Nobody wants to talk about the personal, but I give all revealing to be very transparent. Show what she said to me. Show that this is not true. She was a scorned woman, and she wanted to ruin me. And I have the text message, and here you go. And it's that simple. And then to add insult to injury, they're not stopping. Like now I'm trying to work and rebuild my life, and now this past week this gentleman's trying to get a protection order to say that I'm an extreme risk to harm people. It's insulting. It's pretty insulting.
And this is hurting you from even getting other work.
He's trying to stigmatize me. It's almost saying like you're a sexual offender or you're you're a criminal. He's trying to stigmatize me as a bad person. And I've never had anything in my life to justify this. But he's trying his best to stigmatize me as a negative light and paint me as someone he wants me to be. But that's not who I am.
Okay, well, you heard the sergeant as he talked and things of that nature, and I'm honored to do the interview with him.
And thank you for your time. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to talk to me and try to get the story out. And I really appreciate your time. It means a lot. It's just the truth. Like I said, you know, we can be very transparent. And listen, because you're a smart man. If this was true, it would be all over the world. Because oh man, a guy making threats to harm someone. Okay, it's simple. This is still America. Show us the proof of this.
That's right.
I've never made any threats to anyone
to
to harm him.
You gotta have proof.
You know, but it's unfortunate. But God is good, and he's just he's put me to this battle because he wants me to be a stronger soldier. And, and God willing, I will become a stronger soldier after this.
Well, we pray also. I'm going to end with this right here. Zachariah Jackson, BASA News, and I have to quote the great singer of songs, Bob Marley. Fight for your rights.
Amen.
God bless.
Thank you.
Zachariah Jackson, BASA News. Goodbye.